Good morning, everyone. It's a Sabbath morning. It's very early. The sun has just started rising. I've probably been up for an hour or more, which is very late for me. But I've decided to spend this time making some videos. Now, my very first video, this one, is going to be on Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. So why would I choose Nebuchadnezzar? Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon, I'm sure as you know. This was a world power. We haven't got world powers anymore. But this King Nebuchadnezzar, being the king of Babylon and the world power, in other words, he rules the world. He's the only king of the world. Obviously, he must have been a very proud man because his position gave him lots of power. Power over people, power over principalities, power over everything. And then God in his wisdom had to slap Nebuchadnezzar off his pedestal to take away his power. And if memory serves me correctly, Nebuchadnezzar, I think, was out on his balcony and he turned mad. And he was expelled from his position as king, and he ate grass with the beasts of the field. He lived in the veldt. He had the dew on his hair like animals would, and he lived with the animals and like an animal. Everything was taken away from Nebuchadnezzar because of his pride. Now, was this a good thing? I think so, yes. Nebuchadnezzar obviously would have been a heathen, number one, and God in his mercy saw it good that there was something in Nebuchadnezzar that he could use. So this happened to Nebuchadnezzar, where he lived with the animals, looked like an animal. His nails grew as the claws of the eagles. His hair was long, like the manes of a lion. And this is how Nebuchadnezzar lived. And then one day, Nebuchadnezzar, my apologies, he raised his eyes to heaven in this terrible state of living like an animal, being mad, and he acknowledged the creator of the universe as the power behind everything. In that day, his kingdom was restored to him. And Nebuchadnezzar didn't lose anything. He was put back in his position, so he was again king of Babylon, king of the world. And this is actually amazing. So how does my life relate to King Nebuchadnezzar and his power? Alright, I became quite powerful. I had very successful businesses, and I became quite wealthy. I never thought I was wealthy, but I knew I had lots of money. So I became very proud. And then in March of the year 2000, God slapped me off my pedestal. At the time, I was obviously angry, obviously very upset, because now from having lots and lots and lots, you basically got nothing. So, yes, but why did God slap me off my pedestal is because I became proud. Now, let's think about it a little bit differently, or just another aspect of it. What happened in heaven? Satan was he was one of the archangels. He was in the presence of God. Lucifer and Gabriel stood in the presence of God, the two angels. And Lucifer became proud. And then there was, due to his pride, he wasn't happy with the position of one of the archangels. He wanted to have the position of the Son of God, Jesus Christ. And there was war in heaven. And Satan got expelled from heaven. Unfortunately, because he had such a high position, he managed to convince 1/3 of heaven's angels that he was correct, that God was unjust, and that they listened to him. So at this war, not only was Satan expelled, Lucifer, but also 1/3 of heaven's angels. So pride is a terrible, terrible thing. And if God in his mercy sees it good to bring us down to ground and back to the level we need to, he does so, and this is in mercy and in love. And we don't see it as love, we see it as punishment. But in the meanwhile, God knows better. He's the creator of the universe, and he wants us to be restored back to what he intended. So, as I said, Nebuchadnezzar was restored, but now from being a heathen, he accepted the Creator God. My story is a little bit different. I never was a heathen. I always believed in God, in the Creator God. From the time I think I was born, or from the time I can remember. But I had no relationship with him, nothing at all. And throughout my lifetime, I stuck to my guns. I knew what my beliefs were. I would not, move away from it. I never wavered. Did I falter? Yes, constantly. And I didn't know God. I was baptized in the late 60s or early 70s, but I didn't know God. And then more recently, about 4 months ago, I decided to throw everything into God's hands. My life, my money, of which I had nothing. I dedicated my children, my friends that are sick with cancer, because I work with lots of very sick people. But I put everything into God's hands. And fairly shortly after that, God started working miracles in my life. It was truly amazing, and I'm going to tell you a lot more about this. But it was only since around the beginning of February that I started experiencing the power of God. Because like Nebuchadnezzar had to be slapped off his platform, I was slapped off my platform 23, 24 years ago. And now, for the first time, that I handed this power back to God. Not that I had the ability to hand this power back. The power belonged to him all along. But I acknowledged that without him, I am truly, truly lost. I can't do anything myself. It is not me that makes money. It is not me that is able to transform the world. It is our Creator. So this has been my experience. I will tell you more about it. And God is so, so very, very good to us all. I want to wish you a very blessed Sabbath. I've got a lovely day planned, very quiet, being Sabbath. I want my mind focused on the creation, the beauty. We all notice the thorns and the thistles, which are brought about by sin. Am I sinless? Most definitely not. Huge sinner. But God has, I've been given favor in God's eyes. Why? I would never know. I don't deserve it. But He has been so, so amazing to me. I think through my experience, I'm going to touch a lot of other people, because He is going to bless us all. On condition. There are conditions. He expects us to be obedient. He expects us to be faithful. And He does not want pride to come into the equation. You all have a beautiful day. Lots of love. Bye.